John, we've had these recent antitrust hearings on Capitol Hill into the big four tech companies. Let's focus on Apple and a very specific case with them. There's a company called Blix, which has an email app, and they're suing Apple. They say that Apple purposely pushes Blix's rankings down in the App Store. They're suing them for patent infringement and antitrust violations without pretending to understand fully the details of that case. Does that look like a situation where Apple is exerting its influence and power and just being too dominating and bullying around a smaller company?
I think that there's instances where all these major tech companies have abused their power. There's no question. I think the European community is going to be dealing very aggressively with Apple and its App Store practices. There's no question that Apple has been restricting the access and the ability for certain apps to charge money to download their app unless they pay Apple a cut of that revenue. Whether that cut is fair or not, whether the commissions are going to decide that that's too high of a cut, that's one issue. I think the issue of suppressing apps in favor of their own apps is going to be problematic. It happened to Microsoft many years ago when they were with their the browser wars. I think it's reasonable to expect Apple and these other companies to have remedies given to them. Whether that makes a difference or not is another issue. You have to remember that the 95% of all usages of app is Facebook, Instagram, Amazon, Google, and a few others, probably Twitter. So whether this company is successful in its suit against Apple is one thing. Whether it makes a difference to that company or not is going to be a completely whole other issue. It's going to come down to, does that company have a better quality product?
John, we've got the iPhone 12 5G coming out in the fall. iPhone still makes up about 50% of revenue for the company. But beyond that, what are some of the other areas of the business that you're excited about?
I think, Apple has a long road ahead of itself of success. First, as I said earlier, it's got a 4% free cash flow yield, which is very attractive compared to Treasury bonds. Tim Cook has said numerous times that he's very optimistic about the future, and I believe he is. They're investing about $9 billion a year in research and development. Augmented reality, glasses, virtual reality, new technologies. They're making their own computer chips now for their computers. That's going to be a huge margin expansion opportunity for them. I think this pandemic, more than anything else, has shown us how key technology is in terms of being able to live our lives. Apple's one of the most amazing companies. It's got amazing brands, and I think that they're continuing to invest and grow their business into the future.
At the retail level, if you take the Eaton Centre in downtown Toronto as a microcosm or an example, usually that store is just packed. Now, during these current times, there's just a smattering of people in there. Are you concerned that buying habits will change to the point where it could affect the company negatively, or if somebody wants an iPhone no matter what, or an Apple product no matter what, they're going to get it?
Yeah, I think Apple's got such a huge brand awareness and such a huge identity with quality that people don't need to go into a store to buy their product. They'll go online. Everybody's shopping online these days anyways. This is going to be potentially a huge opportunity for Apple, where they can just be selling that new phone online and they'll be shipping it to you. You don't need to go into a store to know that iPhone 12 is going to be one of the best phones ever made.
So as we sit here, Apple has the biggest market cap in the world, 1.7 trillion, roughly. We can try to poke holes in the story. We can talk about antitrust, competition, and so on. But in the last year, of the big four, it's the best performer. So what's not to like? And could you even argue that it's actually cheap here?
I think Apple actually looks very compelling value compared to the alternatives that are out there. It's got the highest free cash flow yield of any of the major tech stocks out there. It's got the best dividend yield of any of the major tech stocks out there. It's got a rapidly growing business. Its services business is growing very rapidly. The augmented reality, the Apple glasses that are going to be coming out here, I think that's going to be a big thing. Who knows what they're going to be doing in the automotive sector at some point. I think it has huge room to run.